My name is Sapip Kim. As a child, I experienced many weird things, spirits, ghosts, haunting, something like that, but from that natures. Skip over to 2005. I remember me and a group of friends was four other guys. These guys don't believe in spirits. He don't believe in aliens. Believe in nothing. Look for ghosts, ghost hunting. So I got four of them to get involved. Those guys don't believe in ghosts at all. So I mean, we wanted to go to White Slough because I heard a lot of stories. And White Slough, there's haunted. There's something weird happened at White Slough. We never thought about aliens. Between 6:30 and 7, when we got there, we got off the truck. I was the first one to look up in the sky, and I looked up and I pointed up in the air. I said, "What the f is that?" That's my word. And then I look back at my friends. They all look up, and I look back up again. And all I remember was a wolf was howling. You hear a wolf howling, so that's kind of like a distant, and the time frame is very important. But at that time, we heard a wolf howls, and we remember back that I was look up in the sky where the spacecraft is, and it hobbles away from a zigzag motion very slowly, and all five of us, including myself, we looked up as it flew away in the zigzag motions. When it get further and further and further for a long time, but we still looked up for a very long time, and it's dark outside. And when it get higher, far away, it moves in a 45-degree angle, with the speed of light, gone. And we look all around us. It was dark. It was night, but our mind was numb. We didn't thought about anything what we saw. To describe the spacecraft, I would say a spacecraft because it does not make any noise at all. It was completely quiet. It was a triangular shape. It was huge. I would say about the size of it is huge. I mean, literally, you could pick up a rock. That's how close it was. You could pick up a rock and threw it at the spacecraft. You could hit it. So I mean, that's how close it was. And it was the size of how big was the pond? It was like half of the pond size. It was maybe about 30 feet above the ground. It hovers on top in the air with no noise, no sound. It's a triangular shape with edge and three lights on each corner, and it's a dark color. I would say black because it was dark. Yeah, and the light was so bright. It was bright. It was three lights bright. So when we remember the spacecraft flew away, we heard the wolf was howling really close to us. So we knew from the distance when we got there, it was far away. Now the wolf was near us. I would say about maybe less than half a mile now. So I walked back to the truck with four of my other friends. No one was talking. Everybody was quiet. It was like a numb feeling. No one asked any question. These kind of stuff that you would ask your friend, like, what the hell was that? But no one was talking. Even myself, we didn't thought about asking questions. What was that? What is going on? All of us was calmly walking back to the truck, got in the truck. No one was talking, not one word. I started the car, and I remember the clock that pops up. It says about 12:30 something. So it's 12 a.m. already. But we didn't thought about like, where were we? We got there at 7. It was daylight. Why is it dark? That question wasn't there yet. So I dropped everybody off back at home. And that was the last time I see them again for many years down the road. So after 2 years, I had some memory coming back. I got questioned what happened that day. What did I do within 7 to 12 a.m.? I couldn't remember anything at all. Time was lost. I know definitely time was lost, but the noise, the sound wasn't lost. I still remembered the time frame because from the wolf howling when we got there and the wolf howling when we left. 2 years passed by. I'm started having memories. I don't know where that memory came from. It wasn't a dream, but it was a memory. Kind of like when you're a child, you remember you went to a certain place. It's those kind of memory where like you've been there, but you don't know how you got there. So all this memory was piece by piece, kind of piece by piece putting together. I was never interested in UFOs. Was never. Until I experienced it, I still don't believe it was a UFOs. Until you see it. So I started to realize like everything I experienced of time loss and everything, it kind of put me to believe. So one of the memory that I remember, inside the spacecraft, I was laying on a flat bench. The wall was all white, bright, and I looked it up. I see 3 long fingers, I think about 3 times longer than our fingers, right? And I know it's 3 fingers. The way they handle a long silver needle, it was a very long needle, and they poke on top of my head. This is memory. I couldn't prove anything on that one because I don't know what's going on. I was scared and I was in pain. I was screaming. It was tensing on my head. It was like so tense that I had to scream, and then my memory lost. I couldn't remember from there on the bench. Waking up from laying on the bench, I woke up. I was standing in the middle of, I would say, a cockpit. The reason why I say it's a cockpit because I knew that there's a small figure who was sitting in the middle with a controller on in front of him. I couldn't see the legs. I could only see half his body. I know it was a kid because it was tiny. I wouldn't say it's human because it's not human. Because it doesn't look like a human to me, but it has the same shape like human. I would describe it as a kid because that's the only way we could identify what it is. It looked like a kid, but it's humanoid, I would say. And they have dark brown eyes, small mouth, pale face. Because cause that's something that we could identify something as human, right? You identify by color, shapes, right? That's how I would describe it. Because what I saw, it was a little humanoid figure. Sitting right in the middle of, I would say, a cockpit, like I told you. So I was scared, I was shivering, I was afraid. But they communicate with me telepathically. They told me, don't be scared, I will take you to another planet. And that's when my body stopped shaking and I wasn't scared no more. All around me, inside, I would say spacecraft. I'm assuming it was in spacecraft because I felt it was spacecraft because all around me I could see through the walls, just like a window. All glass window, even from the bottom, from the top, I could see Earth. I was above the ground. I would say about maybe, 40 feet above the ground. But within a deep breath, I could see the Earth got smaller and smaller and smaller, and it turned to like the size of a needle, Earth. And I knew that's when I was out in space. That's when I knew I was away from Earth, because with a one deep breath, I never been in space. The last time I feel like the last time I rode on an airplane, flying on an airplane, is back in 1985 coming to America. Since then, I never rode on an airplane. But I felt how it feel like to be out of space, to fly in the speed of light. I would say speed of light because the Earth from ground to space within a deep breath, that's really quick. It has to be really fast. So the Earth disappeared from what I could see. They told me they took me to a planet with ice. They didn't specify the name because I wouldn't know the name. I mean, definitely not, because I was never into space stuff or alien stuff. But they said they're taking me to an ice planet. So from what I learned, the ice planet, of course, is Pluto. We name it Pluto, right? We know it's Pluto. Because in my mind, I think it's Pluto, right? Because it's all ice. It's far, far away. You can't see Earth. So I'm out there in the darkness, and we arrive into a planet of ice. And in the planet of ice, there's a volcano. It's shaped like a volcano, and it's hollow inside. We went inside of it, and I was scared. But my memory was lost when I was inside. I couldn't remember what was I doing inside there, or what was in there. Nothing. The memory just blank, it just shuts off. And I remember flew back out. And they said they're gonna take me to another planet, which is, it's a lot of fire. They say fire. So in my mind, it's the sun. Because it looks like the sun. Because, we went straight to that planet. It was all fire. It was huge, it's fire. I mean, and I was scared. I said, I was afraid. I didn't want to go there. But the moment I went inside, again, it's shaped like a volcano. It's little ports where you can get inside the let's call it sun, right? But it's the planet of fire. So we went inside of it. My memory was lost again. It was completely blank. That was it. Came back out. I couldn't remember anything else. So these are bits of memory that I remember, and on my chest, because by that time I'm start having marking on my chest. I never get all the information or pictures or image of other people alien abduction. I was never into that. I was never searching up about marks. I never knew anything about marks. But until I have it on my chest, every time I shower, and I felt like this heated, and then I feel it and I scratch it, and there's like one single mark, like a needle shape, like a little bump, and it's had dark black stuff inside of it, tiny one. So I have one. So days go by again, I shower again, I look at my chest again, it start itching again. Every time I get hot water on there or soap on there, I feel like it's itchy, so I start scratching. Now I got 2 marks, 3 marks, then it has another 3 marks, and total of 9 marks, and it's shaped like a triangular shape of the spacecraft with 3 lights all around. A very unusual shape. So I tell a story to my family, and a few of my nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters. They hear my side of stories, and they see the marks. So then I got a little bit, want to know more about the markings. So I typed in alien abduction markings. It came up with other people experience that have the same exact mark, but they have some on the arms. Other abductees, they got some on the arm, the legs, different area of the bodies, and the same exact shape with the triangular shapes, with the same bumps and dark spot inside the center. So after I showed that marks to my family, the mark started to disappear within a couple of days or a week, within a time frame. The mark was gone, completely gone. In my mind, in my feelings, my gut's feeling, I feel like they don't want me to tell, or the aliens don't want me to give that stories out. Because every time I tell the story, one time I remember my nose started to bleed. I started getting tense on my head from behind. I started getting like tight headache. That kind of put me to want to talk about it no more. But years as it passed by, I believe with what they put inside my body to forget, to whatever it is, to monitor, to silence, whatever it is, these kind of stuff is very hard subject to talk to anybody. It's really hard, but I kind of have that courage later on to talk about it. I changed a lot within friends who I socialize with, how I think, how I communicate with people. I remember seeing like a light bulb blinking in my forehead. So I'm not sure that has something to do with some kind of changes, because I think that's unusual, because how can I see a light bulb blinking inside my forehead? It's really hard to explain. So that's something unusual that I see that changes in my body. Describe how they looks. I can't see the feet because I never once saw the feet. Because when I was on the bench, I could only see from the shoulder up, and I could see the fingers. They had 3 fingers, and it was all kind of reptilian skin color. It's different skin texture. It has 3 long fingers, and the face is pale. And small, tiny mouth. I don't think they had. I couldn't remember they have any lips. I know they have brown, dark eyes. I don't think I see any pupils, but I know they had reptilian skins, kind of like a snake's. I couldn't see scales. I can't say that because I don't see scales, but it's in between human and reptilian. The memory always comes slowly. It happened years until I could even tell you a story. What I remember, it doesn't happen like all at once. Kind of like when you're on medications. It's kind of cleared out and you start remembering things. Well, you have to look at, there's millions and billions of people. We all think different. Believe it or not, people have their own opinions. They could believe whatever they believe. It doesn't bother me. I don't think nothing about them. And I totally understand them because they never experienced it. I experienced it myself. I mean, I would totally even tell you that. I can't even say it's alien, but I can tell you the story. I can tell you what I saw, what I remember. It's so unbelievable. It's a subject where it's very controversial. You can't really talk to anybody about it. Even now, I'm not convincing anybody to believe me. And I'm not on medications. I'm not on drugs. In my opinion about the whole entire ordeal thing about these abductions, I don't think they have any reasons or intentions to hurt human. I think they're more to help us. We don't blame it on natural things with destroy Earth. I think it's more human, how we hurt each other, how we hate each other, how we have war against different countries, how we become selfish. It's more like kind of helping hands. And